You know, I heard someone say this once. It's hard to wait around for something you know might never happen. But it's even harder to give up when it's everything you want.
One day, someone is going to love the absolute hell out of you. And you are not going to have to do a single thing to earn it. You are not going to have to change yourself or prove yourself or force it in any way.
I was so broken as a human being, and I didn't know who I was anymore. You know, I was lost, like spiritually. I had to spiritually find myself again. Emotionally, I had to connect again. I think that sometimes when we're in relationships, we make that person God, and that person is not God. Okay? You have to learn that you will be just fine without them. And when you have that confidence and that strength and that security, you bring so much more to the table, you know?
I heard these 3 short quotes the other day that hit pretty hard. The first one goes, we could either complain that rose bushes have thorns, or we could rejoice that thorn bushes have roses. The second one goes, the greatest surprise that a person will ever experience is doing that one thing they feared they could never do. And lastly, anything that irritates or angers you about another person, if you look inside, will teach a lot about yourself.
It's a rarity to find someone that's very successful, that has money in the bank, that has properties, that has an income that keeps your life together. It's a rare thing, to be honest. For me, I want to surround myself with those people that have more than me, that are motivated, that, you know, may have a different sense of business. It's going to motivate me, of course, and I'm going to learn something from that person. I don't judge them, have resentment, or I don't feel bad about having someone having more money than me. That's awesome. It took me a while to get to that place in my life where, you know, and I think as humans, we always see someone more successful and then we downplay it.
Never ignore your wife or your girlfriend if they say this. Gentlemen, I've been married a decade, so not a long time. However, I have an incredible relationship with my wife. When I hear these 2 things, my ears perk up and I make sure that I listen to what comes next. You might have been thinking that I would say, I'm fine, or do whatever you want. That depends, because if you have a spouse or a partner that you trust and they do say that they're fine and they do say that you can do whatever you want, they can say those things and it doesn't have an ulterior motive. But for me, when I hear, can you please, and I make sure that I hone in on what comes next.
One of my favorite quotes of all time, which is, in between stimulus and response, there's a space. And in that space is a choice. And in that choice is our freedom. And so what it really comes down to with triggers, with creativity, with everything, is knowing that when we are about to fall into an old habit or an old way of being, and asking, what would a new choice look like here? Making that tiny shift that day, even though it doesn't seem like it, that is going to create new neural pathways, new memories, new data points for your brain that, oh yeah, I can do this. Change is possible. And that turn shapes your life and allows you to take bigger swings creatively, allows you to show up in a new way in the world.
If you're dating someone, here's some questions that you should probably ask if you're interested in taking it further. Do you want kids or no kids? Finances, like how do you want to handle finances? How do you look at finances? What's your relationship with money? What's your relationship with work? For a lot of guys that are entrepreneurs and women that are entrepreneurs and you're trying to find a partner with you, it's really important to be with someone who doesn't put you down for working your off and trying to get ahead. So really get clear on that. You can talk about things like the preferences and all that other stuff, but at the end of the day, those are the things that I care about the most.
I will never allow anyone to make me feel like I am not enough.
Don't hear the word no, hear the word yes. And when you fail, when you fall, you get up, you push forward, because you know eventually it will obtain success. And that's the difference between people that win and lose in life. The ones that don't stop at a no.
What's interesting is that as you begin to stack skills and you become someone worthy of the right person, more opportunities come your way. It's the same thing as you become more successful in business. If I own a gym and I possess the skill sets to be able to go out and get new leads into my business and to be able to sell those new leads and to be able to fulfill those new leads and to change their life and transform their life, I'm going to inevitably attract more business to me without even trying. And it's the same approach to dating. If we spent more time focusing on improving ourselves, doing the basics, and becoming genuinely amazing human beings, we would be shocked across the board.
Don't rush something you want to last forever. It takes time to build proper foundations, relationships, careers, creative pursuits. Things take time, and it's okay if you don't have everything figured out just yet. Keep going.
It will tell you it's in your best interest, but many times they're going to give you advice, or they're going to do things or show up in a way that serves them best. I can't tell you how many times I had family members on both sides like tell me,
just go get a job.
Go get a job with the government.
Go be a fireman.
and for me, like, that wasn't what I wanted to do. That wasn't who I am. Again, they're giving you advice that serves them to fit into the mold that worked for them. I knew that she was the one when she did this. My wife and I have been married for 10 years now. And when we first met, we were actually dating different people at the time. We started getting a lot closer. We broke up with the other people that we were with. And I realized that some of my actions and what I was doing was not in line with my values, specifically my faith. Keep in mind, I had just broken up with the person that I was with. She had just broken up with someone that she was with in the hopes of like, hey, we're going to come together and be in a relationship. But I realized that I was not in a position to be the man that was worthy of her. And so I went to her and told her, I can't be with you. This was the scariest moment of my entire life because I knew at that point that I loved her, but I also knew and was willing to give her up, knowing that she could go anywhere else. She could say, screw you, I'm going to go be with somebody else. I'm going to go back to my ex, do all that stuff. But then she shocked me. She said, okay, I'm in. And when she said that, I immediately knew that she was the one. 6 months later, we were engaged. 8 months later, we were married, and we've been happily married for 10 years, 2 beautiful kids. And she is by far my best friend.
Like I said, people that are broke will do anything to not be broke. They justify not being honorable to do it. It's just don't look the other way. Money is not real. It's not backed by gold, and as you see, they're creating currencies daily. So don't do anything for money, do things for love. And then you'll be protected, and you'll know what real wealth is.
I'm making myself a promise that I will never go to war with myself for anybody else ever again. I'm choosing me. I'm choosing my peace.
Everyone thinks that being a good friend is just supporting everyone on whatever they think is good. It's like you're telling me over here on a Monday that you have these goals that you want to achieve in business as an employee in your life, and yet you're going out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, day drinking on Sunday. As a friend, you're like, oh no, that must have been fun. That was a blast. Or even doing it with them. When in fact, you should be sitting down and having a conversation of like, hey, I'm going to support you either way. Don't tell me on Monday that you want all these things and then just go and do all of these things over here. You're just lying to yourself. That radical candor is something that's missing a lot in a lot of relationships.
To that one friend who's always been there for me, thank you. I appreciate everything you have done for me. You helped me at my lowest, and for that I owe you everything. I want you to know I will always be there for you no matter what.